So y'all, let's get into this rap beef shit.
Cool, I don't give no fuck, little nigga. Cause I fucked your ex when you was still with a bitch. I'm up, little nigga. They say revenge is sweet. Now think about that shit. Don't let that line go over your head. I might just sing about that shit. I had a feeling about that dick. There's something sweet about that shit. I got some tea about that bitch, but I ain't gonna speak about that shit. Nigga, you fuck my ex-hoe. That's cool. I don't give no fuck, little nigga.
You fuck my ex-hoe? First of all, why Karrueche gotta be a hoe? Second of all, nigga, you do care. Okay? You do care. Because otherwise, why are you this upset at Quavo? Can somebody inform me why is Chris Brown this upset at Quavo? If it were not for the fact that Quavo dated Karrueche Tran? I'm just wondering. This was Quavo's response. Okay? To the diss track of it all. And I don't think Quavo has responded since. But everybody was online losing their minds because they felt like this was the best diss track they had heard since all of these diss tracks was coming out. And in a song, he's saying he was messing with Sweetie. That's another thing. He was saying that. Okay. Let me see what it says. I just fucked on off, and I hope I don't get caught. I just fucked an influencer, turned her to a thought. I don't like none of that. She just took a Tesla before she gave me top. I don't understand why women fuck with men who talk about them like this. Her boyfriend is a heckler. He begging her to stop. Big booty bitch. Coochie is the juiciest. She wear that jumbo Chanel like a crucifix. So they saying that he might be talking about Quavo's recent Olay. I mean, like the girl he with right now. She got on Van Cleefs and pearls like a bougie bitch. I told her go and pop that pussy because I'm really rich. I shoot my shot at a bitch and I know I won't miss. But these niggas be blocking like goalies. I threw my bro an assist and he threw it right back. And you claiming that bitch like a trophy. I'm out in Italy with an Italian bitch and she eat that dick up like cannoli. Then she showed up with her man at a fashion event and try acting like she didn't know me. I would act like I ain't know your disrespectful ass neither. Like, look at you claiming that bitch like a trophy. So you're mad that the man claiming a woman? Like, y'all, like this is all like about Karrueche. This is all about Karrueche. And they date the same women. Yeah, and OnlyFans. I figured that. Or a fuck off. Because I heard he be around for them fuck offs too. I heard some folks comparing it to Hit 'Em Up. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess if that's how y'all feel, but I'm not about to learn the words to that. And I absolutely know the words to Hit 'Em Up. And honestly, that really was one of Pac's most bitch-made moments. Pac was really tripping the fuck out. He really was. Let's see. I was trying to see because he also said that shit about Quavo wishing, everybody wished that it was you. I'm trying to pull up the lyrics. Give me a second, child. Hold up. Yeah, okay. Google. We're gonna do Chris Brown. Okay. Weakest Link. That's the name of the song. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's get down to the facts, pussy. I'm dipped in red. Don't let this R&B shit fool you. Niggas get ripped to shreds. Quavo talking like he a thug. Nigga, you a bitch with dreads. Can't wait to see the day that you get back up all of that shit you said. That you back up all that shit you said. What's all that bullshit you talking? You ain't no huncho, nigga. You the weakest link out your clique. Let's keep it a hundo, nigga. You fucked my ex-hoe. That's cool. I don't give no fuck, little nigga. You do. Cause I fucked your ex when you were still with her. So that was Sweetie. I'm up, little nigga. They say revenge is sweet. Revenge is sweet. Yeah. Now think about that. Don't let that line go over your head. I might just sing about that shit. I had her fiending about that dick. There's something sweet about that shit. I got some tea, Sweetie. I got some tea about that bitch, but I ain't gonna speak about that shit. He's going off lyrically. That's what they're saying. I ain't playing chess with a chess player. I mean, with a checker player. I'm a ticking bomb on the detonator. I shit on niggas. I'm a defecator. I'll put amigo on a ventilator. Stop talking about beating girls. You was beating bitches on the elevator. Everybody's beating bitches. We see the tapes. That's devastating. You doing bad. You a bitch and your music trash. Fashion week, they set me next to your lame ass. I was truly mad. All I kept thinking about was breaking your face, but I gave you a pass. You lucky I ain't want to fuck the money up, boy. I would have broke you in half. Quit trying to be tough. You ain't like that. Why you keep showing off? Quit talking about drugs. You the only pack that I've been smoking on. I just hit my plug, told him come back. I'ma need more than one. Your last album was a weed trade, just some bullshit that we roll up. You know it's on. Put you to bed. Night, night. That's Sudafed. Show me that I'm tender, bitch. Time to prove what you just said. R.I.P. Takeoff. He the only real one that got true respect. Crazy how when he died, everybody really wished it was you instead. Yeah, that's fucked up. You tripping, Chris. Don't say that. Don't lose your head. You done turned the big bad wolf on. These fuck niggas never knew revenge. This what happens when a fuck nigga push a real nigga out to the edge. This what happens when a dumb nigga get fame and it get to his head. You gonna kiss this ring, nigga. Big fuck you from the middle finger. I'll tattoo my trigger finger. Bring real beef to your dinner table. My mental state ain't never stable. I know this shit gonna sting, nigga. I'll run your ass through the ringer, nigga. Just got body by singing, nigga. Listen, he bodied it as far as a diss, but I kind of feel like it's just whack. Like for him to be like it's the way they talk about the women. It's the way they talk about the women. I don't like it. I think it's toxic. Bringing up bringing up Takeoff. I feel like it was a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like it just reminds me that Chris Brown ain't shit. So Pete, you're mad. You're mad because Quavo was messing with Carucci, correct? Right? Everybody forgets that Chris Brown abused Carucci. So you're like in the song calling her a hoe and talking about her like she ain't shit when you were stalking her and harassing her and she had a 5-year restraining order against you. Now you're writing music that basically defames her in some way. I feel like this is continued abuse towards Carucci in some way. Still talking about her, still mad at a nigga for dating her. Like it just seems to me like it's connected. So when people get online and say that, oh, y'all be mad at Chris about something that was from his past, to me, it seems like he's the same angry nigga he was then. Just makes better decisions about the way he handles himself because he has so much to lose, but it doesn't make him different. It doesn't mean that he's a different person. It doesn't mean that he's better now. This song to me validates that he's still the crazy nigga that we think he is. He's still the abusive nigga that ran up on Tiana Taylor at Usher's birthday party. Like he's still, to me, in some ways out of control of himself. So it's annoying when y'all get online and act like, oh, he's just so talented and y'all won't ever let him get past what happened in the past. Like, give me a motherfucking break. He's still that person. It's not that far in the fucking past. It wasn't just Rihanna. It wasn't just Rihanna. So Sweetie appears to have responded to Chris Brown's brutal Quavo diss. On Friday, Sweetie hopped on Twitter, formerly known, whatever. They said X, formerly known as Twitter. I say Twitter, to seemingly respond to Chris Brown's alleged lyric about her in his diss track, Weak is Link. On the song, which can be heard below, Breezy says, although Quavo did sleep with his ex, he one-upped him by messing around with his ex while they were together. Okay, blah, 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 After likely hearing the track, Sweetie posted a picture on Twitter of social media personality Tim Bass smirking while holding a blunt. Next to the photo, the 30-year-old rapper typed, "Let me go rewrite these 90 verses." The tweet can be seen below. So I guess she might rewrite something and put something out herself. I wish she do. I wish she do, but only if it's gonna be good. Only if it's gonna hit them niggas below the belt. Only if it's gonna rip both of them niggas to shreds for whatever game they trying to play using you as a motherfucking bargaining tool, bitch, or a tool to destroy one another. I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't like it. You notice he no longer dates anyone famous. Chris? Yeah. Yeah. I noticed. They all look alike. Nobody famous, which means nobody with enough money and power to fight back. Right? So it doesn't mean that he ain't beating the shit out the girls that he fucking with now. It just means that they don't have the power or the money to do anything about it. That's the difference. Kaylin, thank you for being a member for 11 months. I knew Chris was angry since Punked. Kendrick and them was beefing over who's the best. Exactly. Exactly. There's a difference. There's a difference in the energy between J. Cole and Kendrick's beef. Even a difference between Drake and Kanye and Future and them. This shit was nasty and just like real fucked up to me. And it was people in the comments talking about, oh, y'all wouldn't have been able to take Tupac in the 90s. Y'all wouldn't have made it in the 90s and the 2000s. And I'm like, Tupac didn't make it into the motherfucking 2000s. I had a grown ass man that was alive back then arguing with me, talking about how, oh, Tupac didn't die because of the beef. He died because Suge Knight, he wanted to leave death row. Let me tell you something. There are a plethora of reasons for why Tupac was killed. A plethora of reasons. But if you want to act like energetically, when people do not invite chaos and violence and all of that negative ass energy into their lives, when they invite that, it consumes them. Pac was wilding. He really was. And I get it. I totally get it. I get it. Because you don't want to be this person. You're a good person. So you don't want to be this. But they making you feel like if you don't turn into this crazy person, they gonna eat your ass alive. So you turn into a crazy, you know what I'm saying, psycho nigga, so you can back everybody up off of you. But in the process, you start to really be in that energy. So you start to bring that shit back towards you. Pac knew he was gonna die. Pac knew he was gonna die. He knew he was going to die because he knew the energy that he was calling into his life at that point. I think by the time he realized what was going on, it was too fucking late. So does it matter the real reason behind him dying? No, because if you think all of that vitriol and that negative shit and that wishing death on one another like they did not have an effect on their lives, look at Biggie. Biggie, every album that Biggie came out with had something to do with him being ready to die. Born to die, ready to die. It was always calling on his death. So whenever somebody decides that they're going to use their music in a violent manner, yeah, y'all, I'm not in that space no more where I feel like that shit cool. Oh, that's hot. Like, no, yeah, I can hear it. I can hear that it's a bop. Chris has always been talented, but that's not the fucking point. To me, as much as y'all making it about Quavo, he re-victimized Karrueche by putting her in that song. And y'all sitting up here acting like the abuse doesn't matter. This is about talent. If it was just about talent, then it would just be about talent. He wouldn't have had the bitch whole thought. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have had to do all of that in the music towards actual women, real fucking women that we know he's writing these lyrics about, calling them hoes and thoughts and shit. And this is another thing. Most of the people that was watching it in the 90s did not want to repeat that shit because at the end of the day, people was dying left and right after a while. And nobody wanted to return to that dark ass energy that everybody had created in the music. Music is extremely influential, y'all. It is. And if you think lyrics don't matter, if you think the energy that somebody puts into a record it doesn't matter, oh, it's just music, you're lost. You're lost. Them niggas didn't make it past the 90s. We don't need to be that hard. Cause niggas that think they hard end up dead too soon. Don't make it into their fucking 30s. Yeah, niggas still have PTSD over Biggie and Tupac. And another thing, the East Coast, West Coast beef was something that was being felt in the streets. We lived in the South, so we didn't have to deal with that. But in real life, the fact that they had to have that episode of the Steve Harvey show where Snoop Dogg and Diddy come together and dap off and all of that shit is because the energy had been created and then it was amongst the people. So you started off antagonizing these two artists that used to be friends to beef with each other. And then it turns into a East Coast versus West Coast thing. And now people that don't even know each other got beef with one another because you from another side of the goddamn country. Now the niggas in rap got beef and feel like they need to choose sides. Now it's snowballing out of control. And the two people that everybody was so behind and so in love with are now dead. And it don't feel good knowing that that's the energy that was taking place before they died. That shit don't feel good. That shit didn't feel good. I was alive. I was young, but I was alive. And I remember the energy because everybody loved Biggie and Tupac in the South. In the South, you was listening to both of them niggas. In the South, you was going to see every movie that Tupac was in and listening to every album that Biggie came out with. My sister played More Money, More Problems on tape, flipping it back and forth because it was playing on both sides. That song was that fucking popping that when they put out the tape, it was on both sides of the tape. Just kept flipping it over and playing it over and over again. When them people died, the energy shifted. And so when we get up here now and we have beefs that turn into somebody telling Quavo that it should have been him instead of his nephew that died in front of his face, y'all think that shit cute? Y'all think that shit cool? That shit not cool. Yes, the award shows had gotten dangerous. That's why they stopped doing Benzino, the Source Awards. Niggas always, getting into it at the Source Awards. And let's not forget, the Migos are not punks. As much as nigga talking, Chris Brown talking shit, Migos and them wasn't no punk ass niggas. So if you think they won't take it there, this is one of them situations where they absolutely could want to take it there. So me personally, knowing all of the dark shit that's going on in the entertainment industry right now, it's cool when Kendrick and Cole go back and forth and then dap off and it's a sparring session and we still got respect for each other and we ain't taking it no deeper than that and we moving on from there. And then you got the goofy old niggas, Rick Ross and Drake and all of them. Yeah, they going back and forth, but they ain't about to take this no further than that. This about money for them. But then you got Chris Brown coming at Quavo over a woman. That's personal. That's different. For real, if you ask me. And like I said, if you think, them niggas punks because they be wearing blouses and shit, I feel like you're going to push somebody to have to show you what they really about or that they in it. Because look, y'all, they did Offset. Offset at the club, right? Performing. Some nigga in the crowd is throwing money disrespectfully. Two niggas throwing money disrespectfully. Look. He jumped in the crowd, but they was doing that shit to get a response. Throwing that fucking money all hard and shit like that. Somebody said he must have gotten Offset mixed up with Quavo. Why? Because y'all done took on the beef of Chris Brown? I'm just saying the energy is real heightened right now. Yeah, it felt like they were antagonizing him. Yes, it was. It was absolutely fucking disgusting when they was mad at J. Cole for apologizing. That's what them niggas should have did. Cause you can have a sparring session and keep it on wax. And keep it to a level where this is really about us showing how good we are at this talent versus having to take this shit to the gutter every single time. And then if somebody really gets emotional, y'all, everybody else gonna back up from it and act like, oh, well, we don't know why they took it that far. When y'all be antagonizing that shit, the fans, people behind the scenes antagonize these rappers, these performers getting into it with one another. And the shit can snowball and no longer be in their control, and they can still get hurt because of it. That's what we learned with the Tupac and Biggie situation. So the fact that, y'all want to play with this shit, you know what I'm saying? And act like, oh, everybody's just overreacting and Chris is so talented. Chris is talented, but Chris is also a toxic, violent human being that y'all praise in a way that I feel like ignores the violence. Y'all, he was violent in that song. That song was verbal violence, man. Get the fuck out of here. Violence is not always physical. So when Jill Scott decides that she wants to speak, and this is what we get from her, this is confusing to me. This was just confusing to me because I just wasn't expecting that from Jill Scott. I know Jill Scott loves hip hop. She is a fan of hip hop. Rap battle is a part of hip hop. We all know that. That does not mean when niggas was taking it to hell, we should go back to that just because that's what they were doing in the past when everybody ended up dead. Chris Brown is amazing. How does anybody sing like that? Dance, look, act, and rap like that? Beyond gifted. It appears exceptional people have to go through exceptional fire. I don't know. There's nothing to debate. I think the women he's abused would disagree. I doubt it. My mother's ex-husband was a mean, violent human, and he could lay foundation better than anyone in the city. What he did with cement was awe-inspiring. We got away. He got a raise and praise for his ability. God dealt with the rest. So what about the people who don't get away or who can't get away? Because unlike your cement bricklaying stepdaddy, Chris Brown is fucking famous with money and can make it hard on the women that he abuses to get away from him, especially when he can bring attention to them out of nowhere by putting their name in a song in a salacious manner. Who knows what the fuck Karuchi has been going through this weekend because of this nigga bringing her up in this song? Your stepdaddy laying cement is not the same thing as a famous man using his talent to help him continue to victimize people. It's such an obtuse, pick-me-ass way of seeing the situation, especially when he used Karuchi in the song. It would be different, you guys. Honestly, I would not have anything to say like that if it were not for the fact that he used her in the song. If he had kept that shit to him and Quavo and who's a better artist, whatever, then it would have been different. But he literally used Karuchi in this song to go against this nigga, a woman that has a restraining order against him, that probably doesn't want to be mentioned by him, that wants him to leave her the fuck alone, stop dragging her into shit. He used his fucking talent, I feel like, to put Karuchi back out there in another way connected to him. And we don't know if that's what that girl want. And Jill taking this viewpoint comes off as such a disconnected moment for me, because this is a woman who, when she first came out, yeah, you don't have to be perfect And you can be a pick me on some level. Yeah, okay, fine. But damn, bitch, it's been what, 20, 25 years since your first album, and you still a pick me? You still rolling up to another bitch house behind a nigga that's cheating on you, talking about you getting in the way? Oh yeah. When we think about it now, you was always giving pick me vibes. No disrespect, but you was always giving big titties, sucking dick, and making sure that nigga got the best head from you so he would always choose you over the next bitch. That's what it's always been given. Choose me, pick me. And then you get on stage and mimic dick sucking in front of everybody. And they find out how freaky you really are. Any of us that's been listening, we already knew. There's a whole skit where she talk about waking up, happy, sex, funky. Listen, happy as we want to be, loving exclusively, my man and me all night, all morning. Okay? Fucking getting up, going to the grocery store, and the bitch at the grocery store smelling you because you didn't even take a fucking shower or brush your teeth before you went to the grocery store after getting some dick. And she could smell it on you and was able to identify the nigga based on the smell. Raheem, right? Right. Making music about being hurt by men and never learning anything from it is basically what it feels like. Jill Scott then went and went back and forth with everybody about the shit. And a lot of y'all took the stand. Jill is absolutely right. His talent is remarkable. Let the Rihanna thing go, you guys. Rihanna has, and they're friends. Why are you guys still holding on to a teen fight in which she admitted to starting it? A teenage fight, huh? A teenage fight? That's what she said, huh? A teenage fight. Let's see. A teenage fight. She started it, right? She started it. It was just a teenage fight. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least hit her in the face in 5 different places. Punched her in the mouth, punched her in both of her eyes. And she has bruising on both sides of her head. Right? 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 But it was just a smack. Like somebody said to me, it was just a smack. And this is what I said. I get what she means. People can be terrible and still have something to offer the world. But women or people, period, publicly praising famous men who degrade women with such vitriol is problematic and sad. Because to me, a man that would do that to a woman's face is the same man that will make a song calling another woman he abused a hoe and bringing up how he ran through another one of them. No, they were in their 20s. They were in their 20s. They were like 21, 22, something like that. Everybody was like in their very, very early 20s. Yes, he bit her. He bit her as well. He said she grabbed his junk and he bit her, I guess. Also, I don't know if anybody knows, at the time, Chris Brown's hands were considered lethal because he was a martial artist. Yeah, when you are in martial art and you get black belts and all of that, those black belts, they basically make your hands lethal. So your hands aren't like everybody else's hands. And he still beat her up. and y'all act like they're on level playing ground. And that's the thing that pisses me off so much, because if there was a picture of Chris Brown's face with anything on it, you know what I mean? Like, you know that his ass wasn't beat how her ass was beat. But everybody's going to continue to act as if these are just two young people that were fighting each other. And I was one of those people back then, y'all. I was one of those people back then that felt like they were fighting each other. But no, literally like fighting a boxer. Like Floyd Mayweather beating the shit out of all of his women, or Mike Tyson beating the shit out of Robin Givens. And somehow y'all find a way to act as if those women had any chance in beating those men, as if those men did not know that they were stronger than those women. They knew they could overpower them. They knew they could beat their ass, and they still did it. And the people in the comments. And look, this not just a getaway. Like she's defending him back and forth, all up and through the comments, defending him over and over again. Look. What she said, I don't have to Google when I know people that actually are friends with both of them and know the actual story. You are getting what the media wants you to know, what they want the public to know. And looks like they did a great job creating a different narrative. It don't matter if one left more visible wounds than the other. They both put hands on each other. They both were wrong. Would you be friends with your abuser? First of all, it was not the same. It was not the same. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not the same. It's not the same. Whatever she did to him, apparently it is not the fucking same, because he does not look like she looked. And for that woman to say that shit, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Bird brain, delusional, dick riding, just against your own self-interest, stupid ass ways of thinking. It matters by law. Like it's crazy for me, because at the end of the day, you know he's 2 times bigger than her, probably much stronger than her. I don't give a fuck if she did forgive him. Women forgive their abusers all the time because they are in a drug like dopamine addicted relationship with somebody that's abusing them. Because usually the person that's abusing them love bombs them, then hurts them. Love bombed them, then hurt them. It's the same thing as a drug addiction. They go back. They do. Then they sympathize and empathize with their abuser, because at some point they trauma bonded about something. It's all very, very intentional when it's done. Yeah, literally has a black belt. And they're sitting up there talking about it's the same thing. They were fighting each other. I know both of them. You don't know the real story. Bitch, I know what that lady face looked like. I know Rihanna didn't go on to have any more issues with fighting a man, but we've seen Chris Brown with his issues with Karrueche. What's your comments about Karrueche? Were we going to keep forgetting about Karrueche? And I love these. The problem is most people can't grasp the issue that every person is flawed. Your flaw has nothing to do with the gift that God has given you. The flaws are what you are called to work on while you're here. Most people that cast stones at others fail to understand that. Yeah, I hate people like this. I hate people that use half truths of spirituality and energy facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, we are called here to do something. We all have our issues. But when y'all act like people do not become monsters on this fucking earth, when you act like that is just simply a person being flawed, I have a problem with that. I have a deep problem with allowing the victimization of people so that y'all can forgive abusers. Because when people get victimized like Meg Thee Stallion, I don't see anybody talking this shit about everybody's flawed. No, she's a liar that lied on a man. Fuck the fact that she had a hole in her foot. People are so unreasonable. She didn't say anything wrong, because we're going to miss the context and the nuance of using your music to re-victimize someone who had to get a restraining order against you and then being praised for it by the world. And I'm crazy. We're crazy. We're asking for way too much for Jill Scott, who's supposed to be a proponent for women, who's supposed to be fucking woke. We're asking for too much for her intelligence to connect and for her not to get online and profess her love and admiration after a man puts out a song talking about women in a negative way, specifically a woman he's been accused of abusing. What? We getting arrested for flaws now? I told somebody, when y'all say shit like that, it sounds fucking stupid. If somebody rapes somebody, that's just a flaw. They should still be allowed to be out with the rest of the world raping people because it's just a flaw. If somebody's a fucking murderer, they're going around killing people. They should just be able to go around killing people because we all make mistakes. We all are flawed. That's how y'all sound when y'all say shit like that. Like, it doesn't matter how terrible somebody is, because your religion told you that all they have to do is ask Jesus for forgiveness. They can continue to go on and do whatever the fuck they want to do, harming other people, as long as they can say, Jesus, forgive me, right? Right? And y'all act like y'all don't understand how these things connect and how y'all act on social media, right? How y'all act on, so all of y'all people in the comments that make excuses and act as if he's not who he is, do y'all make excuses for people in real life who do the same shit? Do you have children, nieces and nephews that are being abused and nobody's blinking a fucking eye because y'all have this everybody's flawed policy when it comes to abusers? But yeah, oh, God forbid they're gay. Don't be gay. Then you're going to hell and there's no retribution for you, unless you're willing to lie about who you are. It's crazy to me how forgiving y'all are to the people that abuse people. Meg got shot in the foot and at worst fucked her friend's man, and y'all feel like, and we know that that's not what happened, but y'all are willing to believe that she lied about being shot and she's this terrible fucking person. Because she befriends people just to get on and then she leaves them, as opposed to being accused of rape, beating on women that you bigger than, pushing a bitch down some stairs. All that shit cool, right? It's okay. Cause hey, ain't nobody perfect. But bitch, don't be a victim. And then you have to be perfect or we don't believe you're a victim. And that's what y'all be looking for. Y'all be looking for the people that are being victimized to be perfect. But at the end of the day, that statement of nobody's perfect, that's the only time that I will actually take that as a response to something. Because y'all throw that shit out to not be held accountable for anything. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired. So Jill Scott, you have been clocked, ma'am. You've been clocked. Some people thought, oh, we about to cancel Jill Scott. Ain't nobody about to cancel Jill Scott. You motherfuckers can't even cancel Chris Brown. Ain't nobody canceling Jill Scott. I got a Jill Scott album sitting right there on vinyl. Ain't nobody canceling Jill Scott. But I see you clearly now. I see you clearly now. You disappointed me. I'm sad about the fact that somebody who I felt was a advocate for women on some level will champion the man because he's so talented while he makes a song about the woman he victimized in some manner. Can you believe that? We wrong though, because we feel like there's a disconnect. Like, girl, I guess. With that being said, let's we're gonna end with the Love and Marriage Huntsville thing, but let's go through Jaguar right quick. This is just the first part, and we're gonna speed through it so I can do the Love and Marriage Huntsville thing. But yeah, no, I went on a deep dive um with the whole Jaguar Wright Jill Scott situation, because somebody said that shit, right? Somebody said
I
Jaguar
can't.
Wright had already talked about Jill Scott and how Jill Scott was a hoe. And it wasn't her fault. Her mom was a hoe. Jaguar Wright said that she and Jill Scott used to be best friends. And Jill got a lot of her swag from Jaguar to the point that she was stealing a lot of the shit that she did in her shows. I had forgot about Jaguar Wright as an artist, right? So I went back and watched some of her live shows from like '03. She not lying, because Jill has a very practiced way of how she does her thing, right? It's rehearsed. Jaguar Wright will be on stage and this is just what she's giving y'all in a moment, and you can tell because the energy is just coming out of her versus somebody that's setting up to perform in a certain way. You could tell the difference, right? So a lot of what she said about Jill, I believe. She said Jill's mom was a hoe. And so, teaching Jill how to be a hoe. So then Jill's a hoe. And so, not as deep, not as smart as she pretended to be. Right? Because everybody's putting on in the neo soul movement to project this certain, woke and evolved headspace. But it was all fake. It was all fake.